This video will cover small buildings in garrisons, which for the most part tie into professions. For professions, one thing to note is that you are limited to 3 epic crafted profession items equipped at a time. Crafted cloaks don't count towards this. Remember, not all items are created equally. I've mentioned in the past that certain items hold a heavier stat budget than others, while some items such as trinkets and weapons have a power level that can be exponentially more beneficial depending on your class and spec. Here's a stat budget breakdown for armor items. As you can see, head, chest, and leg items are heavily weighted, whereas wrists and cloaks are not. So you need to take this into consideration when determining what 3 crafted items you're going to use. I don't know what exact values will be for, or are for amulets and rings, but they are very close to wrists and cloaks. All of the garrison buildings come in 3 different levels. Small profession buildings all allow the production of work orders. These work orders allow you to produce items related to the buildings from which they were produced. For example, a blacksmithing building will produce blacksmithing items. You need to do 250 work orders to unlock the highest level profession buildings. So if you're looking to max out your buildings fast, you will want to consistently complete all available work orders. As your buildings level up, you'll be able to complete more work orders. You don't actually need to have the professions on your characters to build a profession building. This means, for instance, a non-alchemist could produce potions. However, there are limitations to what you can actually do without having the profession. Your garrison will grant 1 small plot for each level it gains, with the garrison maxing out at level 3, meaning you will only have 3 small plots on which you can build your 3 small buildings. Let's go ahead and review each of the buildings, their perks and limitations. Blacksmithing, tailoring, and leatherworking buildings all allow the production of epic crafted items at level 3. These cover every armor slot. With tailoring and leatherworking, you can also craft cloaks. Blacksmithing allows for crafted weapons and shields. You won't be able to produce some of the items such as bags, mounts, or pets without the profession. With the tailoring building, you can create bind-on pickup banners that deal AoE damage or increase maximum health of your allies. The blacksmithing building provides a choice between 2 4-hour-long buffs. Either you can have NPCs help you when you're in need of it, or you can bypass durability loss. The leatherworking building lets you make account-bound tents that buff you with a 10% stats buff for 1 hour. The alchemy building can provide you with some free potions, but you will be unable to craft greater flasks. The enchanting building lets you essentially transmog your weapon enchantments and make all of the warlord's enchantments aside from the most powerful weapon enchantments. You can also disenchant your gear at the building without actually having enchanting. The engineering building allows for the production of most new engineering items aside from a new teleporter, Blingtron 5000, or epic goggles. The epic goggles won't be quite as useful because there's going to be a 10-year anniversary Molten Core event, and in it you will get a guaranteed epic helm, so you won't need to take up a crafted slot for that. The inscription building allows you to craft Darkmoon Fair cards, staves, wands, and offhands, but you won't be able to craft new glyphs. You can craft lesser quality gems with the jewel crafting building, but the epic rings and necks provided by the jewel crafting building aren't that great, seeing as they have low stat budget compared to the other crafted gear that you could be making. That covers all the profession buildings, but there are 2 small buildings not tied to profession buildings. The salvage yard allows for the acclamation of salvage from missions, which can provide items for followers, and at its highest level can even obtain items for yourself. You will need to obtain 100 salvage to get your salvage yard to level 3. The last building is the storehouse, which increases the amount of active work orders you can have at a time. It will grant a bank, void storage, and transmog. However, the requirement for level 3 is to loot 10,000 gold on Draenor, so be prepared to farm till your eyes bleed if you want it. I really don't think the convenience it can provide will make up for the lack of progression to your garrison or item production. So there's all your buildings. My recommendation would be to have 2 small buildings that match your professions along with the salvage yard. The salvage yard will help progress your garrison and ultimately your character. Ideally, you want to have the armor crafting profession that aligns with your class, leatherworking, tailoring, or blacksmithing. All of this can be done with alts or with purchase from other players, so it's really going to come down to what you're willing to do on your own and how much you're willing to spend. The enchanting building can be useful while leveling to disenchant items if you don't have enchanting. Gathering professions are not directly tied to the buildings, but you can use your gathering professions to supply those profession buildings. And gathering professions are actually going to be really useful because they're going to allow you to farm savage blood, which is a necessary crafting ingredient for all epic crafted gear and epic crafted upgrades. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, be sure to check out my channel, Raid Perspective. Until then, we'll see you next time.